Saying you're a football player. It's in your blood.
That's racist.
Your soul.
That's racist.
Your eyes.
That's gay.
That's homophobic.
That's black.
That's racist.
Damn.
Some of the most overused words in the Western world between the years of, let's say 2015 to 2020, ended in either phobia or ism.
You can put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
One of those was even named Word of the Year in 2016 by dictionary.com. The overexposure to these types of words eventually resulted in a backlash. Soon, they created more cringing than cancellations. The celebrity videos that popped up every now and then, alluding to these types of isms and phobias, exemplified this.
I take responsibility.
I will no longer allow racist, hurtful words, jokes, stereotypes, no matter how big or small, to be uttered in my presence.
Biden and Trump are equally terrible at formulating a thought that can be used as an uninterrupted quote. They ramble or stumble without getting to the point.
An economy based on wind. I never understood wind. You know, I know windmills very much. I've studied it better than anybody. I know it's very expensive. They're made in China and Germany mostly. Very few made here, almost none. But they're manufactured tremendous, if you're into this, tremendous fumes, gases are spewing into the atmosphere. You know, we have a world, right? So the world is tiny compared to the universe.
But in the following, Trump, for once, hit the nail on the head.
When Congressman Elijah Cummings calls you a racist, your reaction is what?
Well, I think the word has really gone down a long way because everybody's called a racist now. Her own party called Nancy Pelosi a racist 2 weeks ago. The word is so overused, it's such a disgrace. Now, in some cases, it's true. There are people that are racist, bad people.
It goes without saying, there is still a time and a place to use these ism or phobia words today. But because they've been thrown around so much, many people shy away from them. Some, however, have proven crafty. They started using them as political tools, victimizing the people the words are aimed at.
Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans? The media calls us racist for wanting to build Trump's wall. They censor us, but it doesn't change the truth.
But let's put a pin in that for now. Much like sports, politics can change quickly. At the beginning of July, everything was going well for Donald Trump. He was leading Biden in the polls, Biden tanked in the debate, Trump survived an assassination attempt, and he was the man of the moment at the Republican convention. His personal cult reached a new level with his new ear piercing, and he remained in the news by successfully orchestrating the reveal of his vice presidential pick. Meanwhile, the Democrats only managed to steal the media's attention when they were calling on Joe Biden to leave the race. Despite feeling betrayed, Biden stayed firm.
I'm staying in the race.
Beyond that, though, Trump dominated the news. He seemed to appear in the headlines more than at any time since his famous escalator ride in 2015. That was until Joe Biden succumbed to the wrath of Nancy Pelosi.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and we have some breaking news as President Joe Biden has just announced that he is dropping out of the 2024 presidential race.
Pelosi said this about her friendship with Joe.
Well, he knows that I love him.
Joe's response?
Never see this face again.
So, come January 2025, Joe Biden will finally get to retire with his Secret Service hating attack dogs. But you have to wonder, will he really ever come to terms with how it all ended?
Will I get over it? No. But life goes on.
With Biden's exit and his endorsement of Kamala Harris, the game has changed.
Harris leads Trump by 6 points, 53 to 47, among likely voters nationwide. That's within the...
The Trump campaign has found itself forced to throw out its entire campaign strategy, while also having to handle the ever-growing mountain of Me Too cases, pun intended, surrounding J.D. Vance. In classic Trump fashion, He's been busy trying to pull the media back by saying things that are easily seen as questionable.
You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Someone will die.
Of fun.
But here's the thing. While it worked for short moments, Trump struggled to keep that spotlight. That is, until he dusted off his old playbook and began raising doubts about Harris's identity.
Sir, do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
Of course, questioning the background of his political opponent is one of Trump's greatest hits. When he combined the criticisms of her background with the claim that she was never qualified to be Biden's running mate in the first place, Trump seemed to strike gold. The main point of Trump's attack is that Kamala Harris was nothing more than a DEI pick for Biden. DEI, as you may or may not know, stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and is a discipline or organizational framework. Its promoters say it leads to more fairness. Its opposers, that it's discriminatory. Trump wants to make the point that Biden's selection of Harris was based on race and gender. And it's actually difficult to argue against that. Biden said from early on when he was running in 2020 that he would choose a woman of color as his running mate.
And I commit that I will, in fact, I'll pick a woman to be vice president.
One of the rationales behind this was to make sure progressives and minorities would vote for his ticket. He wanted to engage and tap into a larger voter base. Of course, this very rationale has been used in every vice presidential decision ever. It was the case when the Catholic John F. Kennedy from Massachusetts chose Protestant and Texan Lyndon Johnson, when newcomer and black Barack Obama chose the white Washington insider Joe Biden, and when the scandalous and politically inexperienced businessman Donald J. Trump chose evangelical and ex-House GOP leader
Michael Pence.
So, if identity politics have always been a factor, a way to pander to voters that you might not otherwise reach, why is Biden's choice in Harris such a big issue now? Why is it the centerpiece of Trump's campaign strategy? Trump himself would probably say that it would suggest that Harris isn't up to the task of being a federal servant at the highest level. But why wasn't the same argument used against former VPs, George H.W. Bush or Al Gore, when they were running for president? Trump never thought that voters would be scared off by pointing out that Obama chose Biden because of his race and working class appeal. But he seems to believe that highlighting Harris's ethnicity and gender will work in his favor now. Why? Here's where I get stuck. Here's where I can't dance around it anymore. Is there any explanation other than those overused isms and phobias? Let's pull out that pin again. If anyone would actually say either of those words, it will play right into the Trump campaign's hands. Because these isms and these phobias were so carelessly thrown around in the 2010s, using them now would be like encouraging someone to stop listening to you.
I am not listening.
The argument would be instantly disregarded, no matter if it had any substance. Trump is immune. It's the classic boy who cried wolf scenario. But if you remember how that story ends, even though no one believes the boy anymore, the wolf does eventually show up.
Please clap.